Hello, my name is Herb, and I'm an alcoholic and an addict. I said that once at the Chamber of Commerce the first time I went. I was all like, everybody, you go around and introduce yourself. And I was like, it was early in the morning. And I was, oh, my name is Herb, and I'm an alcoholic. Everybody starts laughing. I go, what? Wrong meeting? It was for the Chamber of Commerce. I love living here. But I gotta bring a serious topic up. We just checked in a little dog named Sierra. The guy was saying Sarah, that, it was his wife's dog. And, we checked her in. He was in tears, and he left. But the thing of it is, I've helped Marines when we were down from 29 Palms, Marine Corps base, that when Afghan and all the Iraqi stuff was going before, the 20-year war started. And as they were dittying out, I helped Marines in the little clinic I had get health certificates to be able to, get them home to their people and all that stuff when the ones that we could. And other times, I've giant Marines that were heading off to war, helping them with their dog. They were in tears. They loved them. The guy reached out yesterday afternoon, and I said, be here at 10 and we'll help you with the dog. And he told me the story, and he brought us little Sierra this morning. This is the day after we got Freya and her 10 little Indians in. And, I don't mean to be racial. If that is, I apologize. I'm a boomer. I think that 10 Little Indian Boys song was really kind of bad, but, 10 Little Indians, and they're all out there nursing and stuff. But this guy, please don't focus on my ignorance, but please focus on this message. So, anyways, the guy yesterday, he needed help, and his wife had passed away, and she got a really horrible infection where she went into a coma. They thought, well, maybe she wouldn't come out of the coma because they were having to amputate limbs, and she suffered for a year and a half, whatever, and she died. But here's this guy, cutting parts off his wife, trying to save her life, hoping when she went into the coma that she'd die, and not because of her. He didn't want her to suffer. And oh man, I heard that story. I said, dude, we'll help you out. That was yesterday. He was telling me this, and he brought the dog. Well, today's volunteer orientation day, and we have some dog walkers, and the dude was holding it together. He's a construction guy, rugged kind of fella, and he was leaving for Asheville to relocate and stuff. And he and Heather was giving him a big hug. He was crying at the gate, and you just saw the guy was distraught, having to do this. And so he leaves, and one of the dog walkers comes up and he goes, I would like to go chase him out and run his freaking ass off the road. And I'm like, what? And he goes, well, because he left his dog. Oh my God. Oh my God. What a cruel, evil, wicked thing to say. I said, look, he just had to watch his wife die for the last year or so, cut body parts off of her, trying to save her life. She lived in misery, came out of the coma that everybody in the family was hoping would die, to end her suffering, not because they hated her. And he was shooting a flare, for help, for help. My God. And I had to just frickin' walk away. I said, what a cruel, evil thing to say. Well, he left his dog. And I'm like, stop, and you never know what people are going through. They look, under the surface, man. I told her about Caroline. She had to put her dog down, not because it was sick, and she went home and committed suicide. I worked with her. We all were like in shock. I don't know if that guy's going home to commit suicide, but whatever it was, he was making sure his dog was fucking cared for. And these freaking people think everything is just absolute and their way. I had another volunteer come over and I didn't run her off. Usually I just throw people off the property when they start running their mouth at me like that. I said, I don't ever want to hear a goddamn opinion about anything from that woman ever frickin' again. Just fucking don't talk to me. Here's this guy, for whatever reason, giving up the dog that you knew he loved, making sure it was safe, beats tying it out front to the gate and leaving it to get hit by cars, or moving out and just leaving it behind. People, everything in the universe is not absolute. We need to rise to the occasion and practice these words called empathy, understanding, compassion, love, sense of duty, and honor to help our fellow man, not judge them and sentence them to just whatever our insanity or ignorance is about everything in the world. I got a little carried away with that, last one. But just to be that fucking judgmental about a guy that was shooting a flare after watching his wife die, that reached out with his heart for help, and our hearts here at CBAG met his. Okay, so we're going to get that freaking dog, little Sierra, the best home ever. She's going to be in freaking Mount Olympus, laying by the pool, painting her little black toenails. God, people, just, that poor fella, and to have somebody say that about his suffering, and you wonder why so many animals are killed, because there's just stupid people like that helping them. Anyways, I gotta just, what's up? I'm gonna go out and pet some dogs. We got some beautiful puppies. We got a beautiful dog named Sierra, and we have and our whole place, our heart goes out to that man that had to leave his dog, who left in tears, a rugged construction guy. Anyways, not that has anything to do it, but you know what? Men cry. Love for all.